Hey everybody, welcome back to Tommy's Tesla Tech and Travel. Today Charlie and I are running around doing some errands before we have to pick up Henry from school. And this weekend, what weekend is it, Charlie? Do you remember? No. It's Comic-Con weekend here in Tucson. Tucson Comic-Con is upon us. Normally it's in November, but due to scheduling and the pandemic the last couple years, it's in September this year, here on Labor Day weekend. As you're watching this, for me, it's Friday, September the 2nd. So we have a lot of errands we got to do this weekend in preparation, but we want to enjoy ourselves a little bit and go to Comic-Con since we've been waiting for this pretty much all year. There's 3 books on my list that are kind of like Grail books at this point, which is an Avengers #4, it is an Invincible #1, or to upgrade my Turtles #1 third printing to a Turtles #1 third printing that's already graded. However, I'm hoping if that doesn't come to fruition anytime soon, I'm actually going to see about getting mine graded. But let's see what we can do at Tucson Comic-Con. If nothing else, we'll run into some friends, we'll say hello, we'll record and show you guys some cool stuff. And more importantly, let's have some fun. And like I said, this is the first time in a long time I'm not a vendor at the show. I'm not there with any books that I've written or signing books or what have you. I'm just there strictly as a fan. And there's very few things on this planet that I'm a bigger fan of than the comic book and pop culture scene. So our next stop that you might run into us, it will be either at our local comic book shop. We got to stop by Presidio Comics here in Tucson today. But the next stop actually might just be the Tucson Comic-Con. So, I don't know. Hey Charlie, should we do some magic? Yeah? Okay, let's snap our fingers and let's see where we end up, okay? And just like that, we are at Tucson Comic-Con. We should get that car? Yeah? Okay. Charlie, can I borrow some money? Yeah? Okay, cool. Alright, our first victim here at Tucson Comic-Con, Logan. Say hi, Logan.
Hi, I'm Logan.
He's Logan. And that's Ben over there. He's quiet. There you go. We're actually here talking about their new book that's coming out. It's called Serpent Inc. Well, correct me here. You know more about it than I do. You wrote it.
It's called Serpent Inc., the Pyramid Scheme. It is a snake-themed super team that they go on adventures, but they're also sponsored by a pyramid scheme to acquire money for more adventures.
See, I love it. I like to say I'm an early adopter. I bought your ash can way back when it came out, and you actually just had your Kickstarter successfully funded. Yeah,
we launched a Kickstarter earlier in 2022. We just got it successfully funded, and now it's up for pre-orders, and it's going to come out at the end of the year, early 2023.
See, you beat me to it. Hit them up. Tell them where to get the pre-order stuff at, man.
So you can go to kickstarter.com/serpentinc. You can go to thatlogan.com/store. It's just up for pre-order, and we're going to start selling those and shipping those at the end of the year.
That's awesome. I can't wait for this book. Like I said, I have the ash can. I really enjoy it. I'm lucky enough to have worked with Logan in the past on some comic book stuff. Yes, people have sent me emails asking why I do so much comic book content. I'm what the kids call a nerd. This is part of my life for a very long time. I mean, heck, one of my kids is named after Indiana Jones because I love that whole pop culture nerddom and fantasy adventure. But
he's also the reason I got my first book made. Otherwise I would have had it lettered.
Well, it's one of like the 3 things in the comic world I was actually decent at. Okay. Well, I can't wait for you guys to check it out. I can't wait to get my copy of the book. Like you said, they're going to come out soon. I mean, check it out. I mean, what else you got to do? It's the internet. Look at that, then go back and look at cats doing weird things on YouTube. We lost a kid. We lost a kid. One down.
What's up?
So no strangers to
Comic-Con.
No strangers to the show. We're back at Tucson Comic-Con here at Presidio Comics booth. As you saw with some of the stuff I'm showing you right now on the screen, they got amazing books, comics, toys, and especially Pokemon collectibles.
We just got from Amber Grading a whole bunch of Pokemon back, and we've already sold some of it.
So tell me a little bit about that. Like, I never heard of Amber Grading until you brought them
Amber
up to me.
Grading is a new grading company based out of Tucson here. We're working a bunch of deals with them. They are awesome. They grade a lot stricter than PSA. They have a faster turnaround though, and their cases are beautiful.
You see, that's a big beef of mine, especially with turnaround times. That's why I don't do a lot of grading stuff. But
Yeah,
you told me within a couple weeks is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I just got some books turned around, some cards turned around in 2 weeks time. So they had them for 2 weeks, and We did get one 9.5.
Wow.
But they only have 1% of their things are 10.0s.
Okay.
So I actually prefer that. Like, I rather have something that's not perfect, because the idea of
That's why we're friends.
everybody has all these 10s, and I'm like, really, that's not a 10.
Yeah.
But they actually graded a bunch of our Pocket Monster ones from the base set 2 and base set 3. They graded, you know, a bunch of the Team Rocket ones, like that from when we were kids. I had some Japanese ones, those just came back. And then we got a bunch of newer stuff that just came back, and it's awesome.
You know, speaking of 10s, I heard you have a 10.0 comic here lying around somewhere.
Yes, I do. I have a 10.0 Sandman Overture #1. It is the Emerald City Comic Con. I'm like, Seattle. Emerald City Comic Con exclusive cover. It is a 10.0. It is the only 10.0 I have ever had in a comic. And we're gonna have that for a while, maybe. You know.
What's your asking price on that?
I'm asking 800.
Oh, that's actually cheaper than I thought you were gonna say.
No, it's 800. It's I've had it for a couple years. It actually was put in my personal collection, and then we pulled it from the personal collection for the show because my wife insisted, and I said yes, honey.
Okay, how about this? I will trade you straight up. Okay, for the most valuable comic book on the planet. I think you already have one in your shop, though. You know what book I'm talking about, right?
Turok #1.
That's it! Well, day 1's in the books. We're now heading back for day 2. We had kind of an abrupt ending last night because, well, children can be a Comic-Con hazard. Well, we're heading back now for day 2. We're hopefully going to talk to some more vendors, actually get really into diving and looking at comic books. And we'll kind of show you a little bit of what the day in the comic book life is like. Back to Tucson Comic-Con.
Bye, guys.
Means I'm going to abandon you guys and go do my comic book.
Yep.
Love you. All right, Jim Shooter signature is acquired, and insanely nice guy. And what Jim does that I really appreciate, but sometimes can annoy me, I'll be honest, is he's so personal and so nice. He talked to literally everybody in line that was getting signatures. The reason I say sometimes it can annoy me is like, oh, I've been waiting 10 minutes, there's only one person ahead of me, I just need one signature. But that's not why we do it. I do it to meet my heroes, the people I respect. And Jim Shooter, I mean, he's been in the Marvel game since the beginning, so I don't know, it was just really cool. And Secret Wars, especially like, you know, with the new movie coming up, I can't wait. This is always one of my favorite books when I was a kid. Esports, it's a thing. Charlie, are you having fun?
Yeah.
Who'd you meet? Was it Captain America?
Yeah, Captain America's car.
Captain America's car? Wow, I didn't know he had a car.
Yeah.
Was it like a Chevy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need popcorn.
Okay, Paw Patrol car. Okay. Man, I wish there was a place here for toys. John, you want to find some toys there, man?
Maybe right here.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, they got a couple. They got a couple.
You know.
All right. Our first pickup of the convention, Cap 217, first appearance of the Falcon. So as everyone that follows the show knows that we do a lot of Captain America stuff. And we got it from Lady T Comics. I know I follow them on Facebook and I participate in their sales.
And there's Lady T
Y'all
right
should do
there.
too. And there's Lady T herself. Hi guys, appreciate the book. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I'm gonna go see if I can trade up for that Batmobile over there.
All right, cool, man.
Y'all have a good one. All right, the first half of day 2 is now in the books. We're gonna go have lunch with Day and his family for her grandmother's birthday. Then we'll be back. All right. We're back from the break, heading back to the convention for a little more comic booking. Kids and the wife are heading back home. Now it's just us and the convention floor. Nothing to it but to do it. All right, stopping by another local booth here with another local artist doing all this amazing stuff. I mean, a lot of it's Disney inspired, but it's his own swing on it, which I love the mashup with the Disney princess. So I picked a lot of these up myself for my wife, who's a huge Disney fan. She loves the Dia de los Muertos stuff. But hey, you know more about your work than I do. Why don't you hit them up? What inspires you, man?
So Disney, anything Marvel really just inspires me. Just the whole aspect of it, the creations. I love the whole fantasy about it.
So like, how'd you get into this stuff here?
So first I got in, I started coming to the shows, like, oh, I can draw that, I can draw this. Like, put myself out there. You know, 2016 was 15 was my first show.
Make sure you check them on Instagram and on Facebook and everywhere else.
I'm also open to commission work. Just hit me up.
Thank you. Where can I follow you at?
Follow me at Instagram, Art of Stymo, Facebook, Art of Stymo, TikTok, Art of Stymo, right there behind me.
There you go. Alright, you're probably getting tired of seeing his face, but I just want to point me too after that face. But I want to point out something I like to do at cons, which is, yeah, you come here, you want to buy some stuff, but at the same time, there's nothing against trading for stuff either. Sometimes you got stuff I want, I got stuff you want. So, my man here, I had this to trade, Captain America, as we talked about in my previous video. And the books that we got today, right here. There we go. So I'm a big Ant-Man fan, and this is the first Hank Pym as the Wasp, and Captain America number 218, second appearance of the Falcon, which is our new Captain America. So I mean, new Captain America movie, he's the Cap. And he's a really cool clear backboard.
Clear backboard.
So that's what I'm saying. Come to the convention, bring some stuff for fun and for trade too, because I think we both walked away happy because it was really a like for like trade and value. And I got some books that I want, he got some books that he wants. Well, a book he wants. So I know you like this Captain America, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Cap. I like Cap.
Forgot to show you this one earlier, another book I got signed by Jim Shooter. I mean, to me this is one of those classic niche covers that everyone should have in their collection. If not, you have no heart and no soul. Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you do. Alright, that's going to do it for day 2 at Tucson Comic-Con. We're going to go over some books at the end of all this that we picked up. I know I showed you a few of them already. Most of the show has just been about hanging out, seeing people, and just catching up and trying to have fun and a little escapism, if you will. You know, we've had a rough last few weeks, so it's really nice just to come here and enjoy ourselves and do what we love doing, which is comic book hunting. Tomorrow I should have an interview with a friend of mine, and we'll take it from there. I think tomorrow's going to be pretty laid back and chill, so next stop, tomorrow morning. My ride's here. Welcome back on day 3 of Tucson Comic-Con. Heading back to the show right now. It's going to be a shorter day. Mostly it's just going to be looking at all the cool stuff, knickknacks and artists, and I've been doing a couple interviews today, hopefully. You know, I guess there's nothing to it but to really get to it. Is there anything you're looking forward to seeing, hon?
There was actually a drawing at one of the booths. It was of a dinosaur. It was like beautiful colors. Like, it was really pretty.
Well, next stop, day 3, Tucson Comic-Con. Trucks at a convention. All right, we got Mexican, Peruvian, fusion, some Cuban food, quesadillas, and then the normal noodle wok, cheeseburger and fries, and hot dogs. Con love. Hey, what's up, Mike? This is Cynthia. Say hi.
Hello.
Cynthia owns and operates a gallery here in Tucson called Ann Gallery. I'm a terrible friend. I've yet to make it out there because my children are, well, 50% evil, 50% after their mom. Every time we try to go, they prevented it, but I'm going to get there. Yeah. But it's awesome, it's amazing, and encompasses so many things, but why listen to me? Listen to the lady yourself.
Hi, so yeah, this is Ann Gallery. We have sorry, my voice is going, been a lot of talking the past few days. But yeah, we're a local art gallery that feature just kind of our nerdy art, comic art, lowbrow art, all the weird stuff, cool stuff.
Which is why we get along.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I have so I think we have like 6 artists with us, and then we have a bunch of exclusives, gallery walls, and all of that. So
that's awesome. If you're in Tucson, Arizona, you gotta get out and check it out. It's on historic 4th Avenue here in town. If you don't know what that is, you're not doing yourself a favor. Get in Tucson, come check it out, and you can also check them out online at Facebook and everything else. I'll put their information down below. And don't forget, comic book conventions are more than just comic books, cosplay, and everything else. There's also some great panels to go check out. People talking about things anywhere from pop culture to comics to feature movies to TV shows, you name it. So be sure to check the programming guide. As a guy who used to host a lot of the panels for these shows, it's really worth going and checking out. And this is really cool too. They have a quiet room set up for you going and hanging out and just chilling. This is a great escape for the kids from the floor.
Yeah.
I got Charlie doing B-roll. Show me your camera. Alright, now we're hanging out with John Layman, writer and creator of books like Chew, Bay City Jive, which is a big favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Hey, it's one of those first ones I picked up, and actually, you know, most of you know I'm a comic book writer as well, independent. He's actually one of my favorite writers that inspired a lot of the work I've done in the past, and he's nice enough to pretend like I'm a friend.
Yep.
Yeah, one thing I always thought was really interesting, I know you took like a hiatus a little bit from doing local conventions and just basically going around the world.
Yeah.
My first thought was, what was the coolest place that comic books have taken you?
Too hard to say. Singapore, India. Poland,
The
South
food in
Africa.
Singapore. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, have you been?
I have not, but one
City
of
of
my
the
friends.
future, man.
Oh.
It was it was amazing.
He
But,
said-
like, India is kind of scary, and there's at least at first there's a lot of culture shock.
Yeah.
But I've gone 3 times at this point, and by the 3rd time I'm like taking rickshaws by myself, and like
You're
you
local?
get used to it. Yeah. But yeah, there's no one place because I just love it all. I love traveling.
And it's me, like, comics taking around the world. What took you into comic books? That was always a question I had for you, because I know, like, you started off at Wildstorm, right, many years ago?
So I grew up, I discovered comics through Star Wars, because when I was a kid, I mean, I'm so freaking old, this is like pre-VCRs, like, now you can press a button and watch whatever.
When Betamax was the future?
But when I grew up, like, I was this 10-year-old kid watching Star Wars, and I wanted more so bad, and couldn't get it. You know, I dreamed about being able to watch Star Wars, you know, but I could go to 7-Eleven, I discovered, pay 35 cents and get the continuing adventures of Luke. So I from there I went to like toys like Micronauts and ROM and Shogun Warriors and stuff, and then it's like, you know, some week I went and they didn't have my new comic. It's like, oh, I guess I'll check out this Justice League thing or Teen Titans, and then
Expand the universe.
yeah, but I was like, toys and movies were my gateway into comics, and then I was always an indie guy more than super. Like I always liked superheroes, but I'm not the guy who wants to write 8 superhero titles.
My 2 favorite comics got me back into it was Chew and Invincible.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Invincible was Superman with Spider-Man's problems. And
Yeah.
Chew was a cool detective story to me without all the, I don't know, junk and jive like the dude's a Cevopath.
Yeah,
How do you see that?
Yeah, no, I mean, Chew was very indie, but also very kind of like you could show it to people and like, hey, this is what comics aren't all impenetrable crossovers.
It's not all tights.
Yeah.
And any books on the coming path?
Yeah, I got a DC book next year.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't say, and then I've got
We'll cut that. We'll blank it over.
No, I've got a DC book coming next year. I just won't be more specific.
Fair enough.
And then I've got I've had all this creator-owned stuff percolating, but it's all far away.
Sure.
And then one kind of leapt ahead of everything because I've got an artist who's so fast that now he's producing.
That's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah. But he's making me work, and like by the time we solicit, we might have 4 or 5 issues in the can, which is nice because Leviathan went away. Outer Darkness got canceled. Chew was kind of a victim of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I need some books that end. You know, I want
Chew, how many issues did we get to?
10.
10. Okay, let's make sure I got all of them.
It's not over.
Yeah.
We're just taking a break because other Chew stuff is going on behind the scenes, and we would like to. I'm waiting to see if these things happen, and then we can bring CHU back with a lot of fanfare. But right now, we do more issues. There's 500 books every month that retailers gotta compete for space.
Exactly. It's just, there's only so many spaces on the shelf. Like Chew, when it first came out, CHU Chew.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it was the height of the pandemic. Everything was shut down. The
It
book
took
was
me like 3 months after its release to get my copies in.
Well, it was also returnable, which means the stores that were open could return what didn't sell, which means you make a lot less as a creator. And so we were a real victim of bad timing for the. I mean, the sales were okay, but with the returnable ability and the pandemic and everything, it was just the wrong time to launch it. But yeah, it's not dead. Like, I know the next arc. But the other thing was, I could either stop at 10, because they're like, do one more arc. It's like, it's not a good stopping place. 10 is a good stopping place, but if I do more, I have to go to 20. And I don't know that I want to fund 10 issues right now.
And that was my last question on it, too. It's like, with Chew, the original one, CHEW, you guys went to 60 issues. And I remember you told me at one point that was always planned, right?
Yeah.
With Chew, do you have, like, CHU, do you have a endpoint in mind?
It's literally going to be whenever I want to return to the world, I'll write another Chew thing. There is no set ending for this character, and it's not a novel in the same way. It's a vehicle for story.
Which is a nice thing when you create your own stuff. It's yours to do with it what you want. You're not at the beck and call of the editor and the IP owner, right?
Yep, exactly.
I appreciate taking 5 minutes out to talk with us. Thanks for coming down to Tucson Comic Con. We'll see you soon, my friend.
All right.
Boom. Another show in the books. Tucson Comic Con 15, technically 13, is coming to an end. Now we're heading out. Great show, great times. We're going to cut to the house here. We're going to go over the books I picked up, the books I got signed, and, well, just do a recap of the show. All right, we're back at home, and this is the part we're going to go over the pros and cons of the convention and go over some of our pickups and things we got signed. and just our overall feelings and thoughts of the show. I did notice this year was a little bit slower than it's been in the years past, but I also found out there was an anime convention going on across town, which, you know, inevitably will split the audience for a show like this. It was nice for me to get around, talk to people, and see things, but I also ran into some roadblocks I wasn't anticipating. We didn't spend nearly as much time at the con as we nearly do, and the reality is I really didn't know if we were actually going to the convention until the day of, on Friday. And we spent a little bit of time at the show each day. One thing I did notice that was different from my years past going and currently going is my kids. Like, I love taking the show, I loved letting them see things, and they got really into a lot of the aspects of the convention. The only catch was they're kids. They wanted to go home, they were tired, they were hungry. You know, the old days I would go from open to close, no breaks, no meals, just get all the stuff done. Didn't do that this year. We were only there for a couple hours pretty much each day. One thing that they made a change this year at the Tucson Con that I thought was outstanding was the quiet room. When I asked my 5-year-old Henry and my 2-year-old what their favorite part was, of course, Charlie, the 2-year-old, always says, you know, the camera, people. Henry was like, the quiet room. Consistently, he loved the quiet room, to get away, to play with stuff, just to have fun and relax, not be in this giant crowd. One of the con things is, like, normally I go to these conventions with a lot of books to get signed. And this year I didn't get nearly as many books signed as I do in the past because there wasn't as many artists there and creators that work on everyday conventions. This is really just truly a pop culture con at this point. But it was mostly, you know, a trade show, arts and, you know, people bringing in their own creative stuff, which is absolutely amazing. I love seeing the original creativity. And this is not meant to be a knock or a con. It's just, we got to call it what it is. It really is a pop culture event as opposed to a comic book convention at this point. I got some books signed, but really by 2 people mainly. And that would be John Layman, who you saw earlier in the show, the creator of Chew, Bay City Jive, Outer Darkness, Leviathan. I got his new Chew, as you heard her say, CHU, the sister of Tony Chew, CHEW, in her new series. I got that #1 signed. My Outer Darkness Chew crossover. And actually, after this show, I literally have every single piece of, like, Chew, like, writing and story. And I have it all now, and it's all actually signed by John at this point. See the Outer Darkness Chew crossover, Outer Darkness Chew crossover, Outer Darkness #1, The Man Who Blanked Up Time, and Leviathan #1. I actually got a lot more books than that signed by him, but I thought we'd just go over kind of like the heavy hitters, if you will. The other books I got signed at the show that we kind of talked about already was my Secret Wars books signed by Jim Shooter, who's like the main comic book guest at this show. I got 1, 2, 3, and 7. Only one I don't have in the collection really is #8, and the reason I chose these 3 is, of course, #1 I think is always cool to get signed. #2 is actually my favorite cover out of all of them. I love the Magneto standing full in the middle. #3, it was actually the first appearance of a character, oh gosh, I never said the name right, Titania? And she was actually in the new She-Hulk show that was on Disney+. If you haven't seen it yet, what's wrong with you? And then #7, because I'm a huge Captain America fan, and it's also the first Spider-Woman in this particular character, is the first appearance as Spider-Woman. We'll talk about the books I picked up at the show. I bought a few books, and not nearly as much as I have in the past, but I picked up basically 3 books. But here's the catch. I actually bought one of them. The other 2 I traded for. And if you remember my previous video, we talked about the books I took with me. I had no luck with the Turtles books, well, at least no luck with some offers that I felt were a little low and didn't reflect what I was trying to trade them for. But let's go back here. I traded for a couple books. Well, let's start off with this one. I purchased this book because I never had it in my collection before. It's an Amazing Spider-Man Annual. And Jim Shooter, who, again, we talked about earlier, was the guest of the show, was actually the writer on there. So I thought it'd be cool to get that added to the books I kind of buy for my wife, like her comic books in my collection. So I know she thought it was a cute cover. Spider-Man marrying Mary Jane. And the other 2 are the ones I traded for. Bam. Captain America, #218, the second appearance of the Falcon. And Avengers #59, the first appearance of Hank Pym as Yellow Jacket. I think I said Wasp earlier in the show, but it's Yellow Jacket. I traded my Captain America 3.5, my Captain America 100, which was 3.5 grade from PGX for it. You know, I think this one's probably worth a little less than the sticker price. But all in all, I think it was a fair trade. And as Eric from Presidio Comics says, we always do a dance back and forth, where sometimes I get the better end of the deal, he gets the better end of the deal. I think Eric got the better end of the deal on this one. But, you know, we go back and forth. He'll make it up for me in a later transaction. The only other book I bought, if you remember, I got from Lady T Comics, was Captain America 217, the first, or 117, I said 217, the first appearance of the Falcon. I always wanted to have this book in my collection because I think it's a pivotal one in the Captain America saga and storyline. And like I said before, I collect lower grades, and for the price I got this for, I don't know if you recall in our Phoenix Fan Fusion video we did, we actually had to leave early because we all got sick. And I actually negotiated a deal on this very book at that show with them, but I never went back because I ended up getting a stomach bug. But luckily they still had it. They honored the same price. We talked and got them in this video. And now it's part of my collection going forward. And now the part I think is really cool. The new stuff you pick up at these conventions when you meet new people and add stuff that you don't know if you'd ever had before. We did the interview with John, and I actually didn't own this one. I don't really think I've ever really heard of it even. It's something that he wrote called Bermuda. I literally know nothing about this book just yet, other than I know it's one of those few books that's all ages. So I'm looking forward to reading this one and kind of, getting a vibe and a sense of something I don't normally read from him, which is all ages books as opposed to a little bit grown-up centric material. The next one is from That Logan, who we talked earlier in the show too. He and another creator here in Tucson named Jacob Breckenridge did a little ashcan book called Feral Lands. I really like this book. I think it was cool. I think it was nicely done and well executed. It's not like a long read. It's only 6 to 8 pages. But it's definitely a start to something I can't wait to see more of. So good on you, Jacob. Good on you, Logan. I can't wait to read more of this storyline and more of these characters. And the last one is actually not even a books for me. We talked about in a past video how my dad's not doing so well health-wise. So I've been getting him like little things to keep him entertained while he's in the hospital and recovering and doing everything he's doing. And he really loves Westerns, although he's saying he's kind of getting out of his love for Westerns currently. But a friend of mine, Jeff Marriott, is actually a fantastic author, and he writes some Western books. I sent him the first one already, and I picked up the rest of the books in the series, and it's the Cody Kavanaugh series. So I thought these were great pickups. He go a great deal on the books, and I know my dad loved the first one, and he's a hard character to please. So if you get a chance, make sure you check out Jeff Marriott online at Amazon.com and all these other pages, Facebook, what have you, and check out the rest of his books. I mean, if you like Narcos, he's written for Narcos and a ton of other series. I believe he's writing for Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan's estate now. But those are all my pickups from the convention. Not as much as in the past, but a few really cool books and products. I met some cool people. We got to catch up with some friends. I mean, it was just a great overall weekend, a nice little break from reality with all the stress and struggles we've been having lately in the family here at the house. Tucson Comic-Con, another great year. Thanks for letting us come and attend and just leave the world behind. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe, and thank you for sticking with me this long. And everybody's information is going to be down below in the description. Make sure you check out their wares, because the whole point of these comic book conventions is actually their trade shows. It's for you to go out and meet these people, see their wares, check out their stories, and just, discover something new. All right, guys, thanks for taking another ride with us, and we hope to take another ride again soon.